Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, the Ninja King, and today we're doing what if Percy Jackson had Ozpin Soul Ch. Yeah, I hope people like this what if, and I know that the previous part didn't get as many views as I wanted to. Hey, but there's no better point in trying, right? Anyways, I don't think I should waste any more time and get on with my channel's intro. Percy woke up. It had at least been 2 weeks since he got into Camp Hablet. At first, he was kind of shocked, but now he's basically boredom. Grover had to live in a quest because apparently something he didn't feel his second chance. He asked Grover about it, but he was kind of skittish about it. He asked Annabeth as well, and she ignored him about the question. He wondered why. He heard words of this girl named Talia and even a tree named after her, so he wondered what things could have been needed for it. So, he didn't care much about it either. He wanted to know what was going on in this school. More importantly, what was going on in this camp. For now, he was currently living in the Hermes cabinet. Reason mostly being that, well, he didn't know whose godparent was, even though he already did. Chiron did, but they didn't want to immediately put him there. After all, water-based abilities are kind of a thing for all the gods of the seas, and Chiron just didn't immediately want to jump into conclusion. And, well, let's just say a few more things happened. He met his, cousin, to say the least, Dionysus, the god of the wine. That was an incident, Percy would say to himself as he gets himself up. Yo, you up? Luke would then say to Percy. Yeah, pretty much. Get ready. We're gonna have our first, event. Oh, you mean capture the flag? Percy remembers that event when Luke describing it to him. Yeah, but before that, I have a thing to do with the Hephaestus cabinet. Jumping down, Ozpin would speak to him. So, are you finally going to make one of those weapons? Yeah, Percy would then say, bringing out his sketchbook, puffing to the face before finding the weapon he wanted to. Crescent Rose. Of all the weapons, you did it. Thanks for the explanation of basically making it both divine and mortal metal. He would then say, a perfect combination if I do say myself. A perfect way of both saving yourself from the mortal realm and the divine realm. Percy would then say, closing the book, before he goes to the Hephaestus cavern, knocking on it 3 times before one of the children of Hephaestus comes out. Yes? Can you make me something? Percy would then say, giving the book. As he flips to it, his eyes immediately sparkle, seeing the ingenuity of the weaponries. Wow, this is amazing! Are you sure you're not one of us? Or maybe one of our teenage children's? No, Percy would then say, do I look like I have stormy grey eyes? The kid looks at his, emerald green eyes. No, definitely not. Good. Then make it for me. Fine. Which one do you want? Immediately he would point at Crescent Rose. This one, please. Ozpin has been basically telling him to make this weapon. He didn't know why, but he personally picked this weapon as well. As the boy would then say, alright, getting onto it. As he then leaves. Meanwhile, Percy can hear the hunger and laughter from that room. Jesus Christ, they're hungry for weapons. I mean, they are the children of the god of craftsmen, so what did you have to expect? And fire as well, Percy would then say to Ozpin. Hey, can you explain to me why you picked personally that weapon for me to be made? Percy would then say, walking. Simple. It was a weapon used by she was the lover of my past life, and a student of mine before that. Jeez, that's awkward, Percy would then say. Oh, trust me, it was. It very much was. As they both then pulled out the sword before clashing their blade. A few strikes for each other, and they both realized they were equally matched, before moving away. Your skills with the sword is very good, Percy. Annabeth would then say, thanks, Annabeth. Percy would then say, but I like a cane more. But, he would say, putting his sword away before pulling out a stick. How about this? Immediately they both would go. Percy seems to be more adept, even striking it a few times, just like how Ozpin does. Ugh. God, you could have killed me if you used a rapier, you know? I know, right? Percy would then say, already knowing the reason why he's so good with sticks and cane-like weaponries is because of Ozpin. His primary weapon was a cane, after all, for a long portion of his life. All headmasters of Beacon had it. This started was an heirloom from master to master. Little didn't know that it was the same person belonging his favorite weapon. Ozpin used a sword here and there, but it doesn't mean that he didn't use other weaponries either. This is what made Percy interested in him even more. He wanted to know who the soul was. He did what Annabeth said, and that was, oh God, reading. Reading, reading, reading. The first time we went to the Athena caverns to read, he and Ozpin could send a bloodlust from that room. And this was his reaction. Oh fuck, Percy says as he looks at Oliver Tina's kid. He can swear to God that their stormy silver eyes were glowing like all hell. Help me, he says to himself, before being dragged into book after book. Luckily, his ADHD got here. Or maybe it didn't. Percy at this point doesn't even know anymore. His brain is kind of racking up a situation. And Ozpin has been trying to help him, switching in and there. This kind of made some people question what really Percy was. Because he could be this optimistic, brass, unleading, to a competent leader with more wisdom than his age should be. Chiron even noticed this, and he started to suspect that he may have two souls. Wouldn't be the most hardest thing to believe in the Greek world, but he decides to chalk this up to, well, Percy is having some sort of problem. Maybe split personality? He doesn't want to comfort Percy about this. But Chiron was kind of correct. Percy did have a secondary soul, and he did have a split personality after all. In a way, it's hard to explain. But Percy seems to be pretty good at this situation at best. He's not someone who you should easily be messing with, nor is he someone you should easily deal with. But anyways, as time passed on and capture the flag began, Percy was once again put on Annabeth's team. Oh boy, let's go, Percy would then say, pulling out his weapon. Remember everyone, keep together, keep calm, Luke would then say. And don't worry, Percy has it. Meanwhile, Percy was soon flossing. Yes, I know, that's a reference to Disney. Yeah, but whatever. As Percy was basically doing that, he would hear a familiar-looking whistle as he turns his head to see a cat. Wait, what is a cat doing here? Percy would then say, picking up the cat. The cat used to be completely black with red eyes, almost like something familiar. Ozpin would see the white marks as he would then say, a grim? Wait, this is a grim? Percy would then say, don't touch it. It's not hostile for some reason. Percy would look at it. Wait, what do you mean it's not hostile? What is going on? He would then say. As then, he hears someone. Well, look who we have here. Turning his head, he would see Clarice. She was someone who tried to bully him day one, but he managed to beat her by instead. Oh, fuck, Percy would then say. I guess it's about time I get to defeat you. She would then say, immediately pulling out a sword before lunging at Percy. Percy would dodge it, holding the cat. Hey, what tells you to bring a pet to this fight? I didn't, Percy would then say. She tries to swing a sword again, before Percy blocks it by his sword. He takes it away, knowing that the flag is there as well. The reason Annabeth chose him, and she told him this directly, kind of hates you. Are you kidding me? Percy would then say, yeah, that's why we're putting you there. So you're telling me that the only reason I got picked here is because she hates me. He points at Clarice, who doesn't even hear him. Yep. Oh boy, I'm gonna hate you for this, you do know that. As immediately taking another swing strike for him, Percy blocks it before going away. They were near a lake. Oh, that is what Percy thinks, as he blocks another swing from, well, Clarice. As he goes to the water, he'll see that his wounds are starting to heal, as Percy would then say, oh, bad mistake. Really? Clarice would then say, take this! Manipulating the water, he immediately puts his arm out, and before dragging her in. Oh, crap baskets. Ha! Percy has been mentally training with Ozpin and physically training hiding away from the other campus. So, imagine Clarice's surprise. Take that, Clarice! He would say, snapping his fingers. You okay there? Percy would then say to the cat, as it meows. Thanks for that. Percy would nod his head as Annabeth sees him. Percy, I'm here to... Oh, never mind. You looked on Clarice. Yeah, pretty much, Percy would then say, as Annabeth noticed on him. The cut in Percy's arms would disappear, as then sounds of hellhound could be heard. Hellhounds? Annabeth would say, as immediately ringing happened. At the other campus come, as bunch of hellhounds immediately come at Percy. But, as the cat leaps out, turning into a gigantic version of itself before clawing down it, before turning back to a smaller cat and going next to Percy. Annabeth and the other campus were shocked, and Percy then said, whoa, I didn't know what's going on here, and Vogel's still shocked. Percy would then look at and stop up his head, seeing a trident, signifying it. Well, holy shit, Dad actually noticed me. As then, meanwhile, in Olympus, immediately, if the gods had a heart, Poseidon would have a heart attack right about now. As immediately, Chiron goes to his knees. Yes, God, it's hard to explain. Hell, Percy Jackson, son of Poseidon, the creator of earthquakes, seas, and horses. As immediately everyone does that as well. Clarice feels even more done. Half. I'm not bowing to a daddy's girl. Ow! Luke would pull her head down. Just do it, okay? Fine, she would then say. As then Percy stings a move to the Poseidon cabinet. Oh boy, here it goes. Percy looks at the cabinet before going in, seeing that it only had room for one person. Thanks, Dad. But he noticed something. A secondary room? For whom? He wonders to himself before he puts it away. He puts his things, and he knows that the eye of many of the children are looking at him. Majority of them didn't care, but the others also didn't. He also saw that one of his siblings were giving him a powerful grin that can kill anyone at this point, and he didn't know what to do in this situation. Oh, that sucks. Percy would then say to Ozpin, it kind of does. But you can still have someone else to talk to, remember? Oh yeah, right. I think I should go and give her a visit for today. Percy says, stretching a bit before getting out of his cabin. He tells, well, you know who, Chiron, to go and that he's gonna go and visit someone. Chiron already knows who this person is. After walking for a bit, he comes to it. As there seems to be a small child hopping a harp. Seems to be putting twigs on lights. Hi there, Auntie Hestia. The child was none other than Hestia, goddess of the hearth and family, and the oldest Olympian, or well, the oldest of her sisters. Oh, Percy, you made quite a show today. You saw it? Of course I did, she would then say. I'm the goddess of hearth and family. I can see what all my nephews and nieces do. That's not creepy at all, Percy would then say. Oh, come on, I'm not that bad, am I? And say, no, you're not. Percy had met her a few days ago. First of all, he saw a small child running around the area and wanted to investigate, wondering if this was none of one of his cousins or even nephews, or maybe even uncles and aunties. Seriously, Camp Half-Blood was a very questionable thing once you figured out that most of the kids date here. He asked the question to Luke first. So, you know how the Greek gods are related all, right? Luke would then say, yeah, pretty much. Isn't it weird that some of the campers basically are dating each other? Because, you know, it's now, what do you mean? The gods don't have DNA, so we don't have to worry about things like incest. Okay, that's pretty weird. Trust me, I know that fact. He says, putting another book away. Anyways, back to the main area. God, what the fuck happened to my voice? God. Anyways, as this still looks at a small looking cat. What's with a cat? Yeah, is unique, Percy and Ozpin would say together. How interesting. Hey, she wouldn't tap his shoulder. Don't use my powers too much. Hestia had recently made Percy her champion, thus giving Percy the ability to use fire and, well, make cook food, basically. After all, goddess of the hearth means also goddess of food. Yeah, I guess so, Percy would then say, kind of leaving her there for a bit, as he smiles at her little nephew. You know, all of your other siblings had been arrogant assholes, Percy would say, but you're different from them. After all, only someone who's very known to family and cares about them can see me, she would then say with a smile, as Percy nods his head, leaving the sight. As the next day arrives, as Percy gets up, stretching his body, he immediately opens his door to see half of the Hephaestus cabin. Them energetically energy. What's going on here? Percy would then say, we made the weapon. Can we have the rest of the blueprints? Oh god. Have you actually finished the weapon? As immediately they all go silent. You haven't you? As all of them nod their head left and right, saying no. Screw it. I'll give you half an hour. Finish it or you guys don't get the blueprint. As they are immediately horrified before leaving. As Luke was basically watching this, wondering what the hell just happened. As Percy then goes, yeah, don't question it, Percy would then say. Things are a lot more confusing if you less question it. And Annabeth would then say, well, how much weirder can it get? Yeah, I know. Percy would sit down. Half an hour later, they would come back with a weapons cupboard. After removing it, immediately everyone comes to the table, checking out what they want. Seeing a sight. Wow, what is this? Percy would then say, a weapon I wanted them to make. Annabeth sees it. Well, this is amazing. I know, right? The boy would then say. As Luke noticed it, a trigger. A trigger? Yeah, Percy would then trace as it immediately turns into a sniper rifle. What the... what? Luke would then say, how did you even make this? Percy would then say, I know, right? Immediately spinning up before turning back into the sight. It's both a sniper rifle and a sight. Sometimes, when close range combat is not good enough, Annabeth would be shocked. It's also made from both divine and mortal metal. Wait, what are you saying? Annabeth says, basically, I told him to mix down with mortal and divine metal, which means that everything here, including the bullets, as a case would fall down to Percy with hundreds of bullets there, which immediately sends shiver down all of the campers' spine, as they immediately realize something. Percy has made a weapon that is going to be the most powerful thing to ever affect a demigod. As then crackle of lightning could be heard. What the? Percy would already gotten to know the situation. Chiron had already explained to him. And I think I just made another oops. You're on your own for this one, Percy, Luke would say, but he was kind of scared, as in his ear, Cronus would be whispering, "This is interesting, Luke. Get him on your side." "Are you sure about that, Cronus?" "Yes, I am. He's a lot more interesting than he seems to be. And you need to get him on our side, no matter what. Remember our deal?" "Yes, I remember," Luke would then say, "but we need to wait for him to get under the quest. And maybe, just maybe, I can frame him." Cronus would smile a bit. "That's it. We just need to do that." As then, Percy's basically pulled on by Chiron and Dionysus. "Did I do something very wrong?" Percy would then say, as immediately glaring daggers at him. "Oh boy, why do I feel like I'm just gonna die?" "Because you are," all of them yell at him. Nope, never mind. "Yeah, that is a possibility here," Percy would then say, as they all basically look at him, ready to tear his heart, before Chiron comes in. "Okay, that's enough. Percy, we have already told you about the pact, correct?" "Yes. And do you know about the lightning bolt?" Immediately, Chiron explains that how Jesus' lightning bolt had been stolen. "Well, and you think it was me?" "Poseidon and Zeus has been having feuds for a while, and currently their lightning bolt is missing. Tell me, Percy. You need to go and visit the oracle and see what she says." "All right," Percy would then say, immediately going to the oracle. As he does, the oracle would then speak to Percy. "I see what you want. Now I get to see what other things you might like. I am the oracle. I shall give the answers to your questions." I know this is what she says, but I was too lazy to look it up, alright? Don't judge me. As she gives Percy basically what she did in the canon. But instead, she doesn't say one line. "You will be failed to say what you most." Instead, she says, "In the end, you will learn something that will shatter your world. So be prepared for that, boy," she says, as Percy is now a little bit confused. What does she mean by that? As after that, he explains everything to it. He doesn't leave out the part where the friend part. But Ozpin wanted. That's mostly because of Ozpin. Ozpin said that keeping half-truths like that is not a good idea. "I know that," Percy would whisper to him. "Yes, and I think you should start talking to me in your mind unless everybody wants to think you're crazy." "Fine," Percy would then say. "Anyways, normally there's only 3 people going on a quest. Luckily for you, already someone else has volunteered for it." Immediately, Annabeth would be certain. "Yeah, Percy? Haha, let's go, Annabeth. But you need someone else." Percy would then think. He felt like he wanted to choose Grover, but currently Grover was not here. He was currently looking for somewhere else. A particular sea, and to find a particular, nature spirit. Nature god, Pan. But for now, he didn't want to guess that further. As then, Luke then comes up. "I'll go with you." Immediately, Chiron would look at him, horrified. "Are you sure about that, Luke?" "Yes, I am," Luke would then say, as he was ready to go. Also, before anybody else knows about this is still before the canon timeline of events, so Percy has more time. Hooray! Anyways, as they are ready to go, Annabeth packs her things, her hat, and Percy gets ready for whatever challenges lie. Meanwhile, Luke has been scheming and plotting a bit more. His smile rests on his face. Meanwhile, Percy takes and puts everything in his bag that is needless and unnecessary. He also packs Crescent Rose, ready for the adventure. As he does, meanwhile, in Olympus, a fight would be going on. How currently Zeus was complaining about the invention of a new weapon to the other gods, and Hephaestus was also complaining to Poseidon of how has his son made such a great weapon, and where to get the blueprints from. Immediately, Poseidon didn't know what to say in this situation, Heck, he never thought Percy was a genius. He thought he was a dumbass. Okay, for any Percy Jackson fan, Percy is a dumbass. Let's face it. There's no sugarcoating it either way. You look at it. But anyways, Poseidon didn't know what to say in this situation. So he just clambered down. I don't know, my brothers. What do you mean by this? And I will never know about this. Fine then. Zeus would then say angrily before leaving. Meanwhile, at a different place, a certain fox would be telling around. Ethic was hearing the entire conversation. How particularly interesting. I may meet this boy. After a while, this was not even a fox necessarily. It was more like a coyote. I want to see what Kaka thinks about this, or even Doctor, knowing that one of the Greek children has managed to create a powerful weapon. And I'm gonna end things up here. So yeah, I just want to know what everyone's thought on this part is, what else you want to see in the comment section below. And yeah, what other things you guys want me to cover on this channel, stuff like that. So like, comment, share and subscribe, and see you on my next what if. Ta-ta! Also, no music because it's pretty hard to find non-copyrighted version of Percy Jackson musics.